Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Zelda Speedruns. Tonight we have a quarterfinal race on the winner's bracket side of the Skyward Sword Any Percent tournament between Jasnix and Exto. Yes, somehow Exto came out of retirement to play this game. It's a shocker to all of us. Joined on commentary tonight by Pippi in a top hat and by Fireworks Spinner. How are you two doing?
Good, thank you.
Having a day. It's good.
All right, I will hand it over to you two, and we will get this underway shortly.
Yeah, today definitely is a day. It's Thursday, as a matter of fact. At least
dependent on time zone, yeah.
Depending on time zone. Some people, it's Friday. Yeah, got a nice race going on here today. Jess and Exto, both very, very prominent runners.
I feel utterly inadequate to commentate for them, but that's okay. That's fine, right?
I was thinking the same thing, Gal. This is the first run where we actually have a file name that's more than one character.
It's an interesting choice.
I think certainly. You can thank Cub for that. I'm not sure, though.
Most likely a dig at Exto. Speculation can happen.
Yeah, it is going to be the same time loss for both of them, but yes. Looks like we're going to get started here in just a couple seconds.
We both also seem to be on Japanese, which means no staggering the sinks, which is lovely to see.
And our runners are off.
There they go. The very exciting. Let's see what kind of strategy you use to skip the opening cutscenes. I wonder if it's holding the 2 button.
Well, it's a combination of holding the 2 button, but also completing the entirety of the game once to unlock hero mode.
Oh, yes. Okay.
But that, of course, is not part of the run. If it was, we would have been here a while.
Oh, I'm not used to seeing a full word in the middle of Fledge's text. It's been a while since I've seen that.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, assuming everybody knows by this point, being in quarterfinals, that we talked to Fledge to set some flags that we will be using for a trick called Back in Time later.
Yes, and additionally, we'll be saving the Remlet and other such technically unnecessary nonsense that becomes very necessary because game functioning as intended perfectly. But excited
this
to
is the dev intended speedrun route.
Yeah, of course. I'm excited to see no haze. Oh, hey, no haze.
Nice, at least for another 10 seconds or so.
Oh, we got our first bonk. I'm so sorry, Exto.
And there's a hay. Not the hay, but that's a hay.
So now you'll have to inform me because I'm new to commentating. Do we count bonks for all runners collectively, or do we have separate bonk tallies for each runner?
I've never done a bonk tally.
Oh. Okay, well, I guess we're starting today. I'll get out pen and paper.
We should have a death tally, because none of our runners should be dying, right?
Yeah, no, they're very good at the game. Very high on the leaderboard. Ignore the fact that I checked the leaderboard before this, and I think Jazz's PB is not listed on it, because it says he is way farther back in the leaderboard than he should be.
I mean, my PB on the leaderboard's an hour behind what my current PB is, so...
Same, my PB is not uploaded.
Anyway, back to these runners.
Yes.
I kind of lied. We are going to be dying quite a bit in this run.
Yes. Don't worry, the runners are not bad at the video game. They're doing their best. Just dying is part of that.
Yes. You'd be amazed on how hard it is to actually die within the first 3 minutes of this game. So yeah, we die for a very specific glitch known as Back in Time. And yeah, this is it. the game tries to respawn us when we continue the game, but it puts us back on a title screen when we reset, and then we get the best of both worlds.
Yes.
So right now we're gonna be just kind of like manipulating this map of Skyloft to be able to get the Goddess Sword like 20 minutes or so, probably even more than that, early.
Well, I mean, it's not a ton of time difference to getting the Goddess Sword as much as it is being able to set the flags we need and get to Farron, because I believe HD now leaves Skyloft earlier than SD does, because SD just does more stuff.
Well, usually in vanilla, to get the Goddess Sword, you have to go through the wing ceremony.
Oh yes, and we do not do that. However, this pull of the Goddess Sword does not actually count, because it will be saved to the title screen memory, but not to the file memory. So we will be getting the Goddess Sword again.
Yeah, right now we're just getting started with the setup to be able to go to Farron.
We do spend a lot of time on Skyloft in this route, definitely just because we really like Skyloft. So much so that we're gonna visit it frequently on the title screen.
Yeah, pretty much the way I like to explain this beginning section is we are setting up all of what we need to get to the first area of the game, which is the Farron Woods. Meaning that we need to get the Emerald Pillar, which is what we're doing right now. Then we need the ability to call our Loftwing and the ability to dive off of our Loftwing. With those three ingredients, we can get to Farron. And we're going to be going through a very complicated way of getting all of them.
Step 1 has been completed, that both our runners have acquired the Farron Pillar on the title screen and placed it on file 1. And then Jasnix ran into a wall. It's fine.
Yeah, I believe back in time we do... Standardly, you do it like 13 times in the run. That means at least 13 deaths, plus a couple more death warps. There is a lot of death in this run.
2 deaths on the title screen, 1 map reload death. Am I missing any others? So is the total 16?
Gwei death.
Oh, and Gwei, yes. So we have 17 deaths.
Unless you're me, that dude does like 3 extra deaths to skip key seat.
I hope both of our runners are doing key seat. I'd be very surprised if one of them wasn't. But very close to synced on confirmation that they both did indeed do the first RBM correctly. They do have the Farron Pillar. Check 1 completed.
Well, both our runners are pretty neck and neck here, which is to be expected. These are both very good runners. And yeah, I'm hoping to have like a really close race today.
Seems pretty likely at this point.
I may have a little bit of favoritism. I'm kind of rooting for Jasnix because he was my first opponent in the tournament, so I kind of want to see him go all the way. But that's just a little bias here.
It's okay. We have 2 commentators, so I'll just be biased in the other direction. It'll even out.
And now we hear Gruce's theme for 2 seconds, and then unfortunately we rarely ever see Gruce again.
We will see Gruce standing still with no active text box.
Now time for our another completely random act that helps us back in time.
Yeah.
Entering and exiting this one building.
Oh, I thought we were judging her furniture. Oh, she's got furniture.
She does have furniture, yeah. She also has a floor, and
it's true.
What I assume to be a roof, so it's a fairly stable house.
Yeah.
Not sure if it's up to code, but it should be fine.
She does indeed have a door that sets a flag. Leaving that house sets a flag for some reason.
I think it has something to do with the Kukiel side quest, I believe. I'm not entirely sure though. Yes, now runners are going to run through Waterfall Cave, and you're going to see that they're going to take some damage. With there being 17 intentional deaths during this run, we want to stay at low health as much as possible, because we always want to be ready to die.
I'm always very impressed by top runners' ability to shed the little slime as early as possible. It's a very nice piece of like movement that looks very clean.
Alrighty, so now we're just going to watch Zelda have a little brain fart moment and forget what she's doing.
She's gonna have those a lot, considering she forgets our name later.
Yeah. But, like, luckily in this run, quite ironically, we never see Zelda get kidnapped.
She's perfectly safe the entire time.
Yeah, so we kind of just decide that we're just gonna go on this adventure without any real motive. Just to be the fastest Link.
Well, we are continuing to do setup now that we have... Both of our runners have created a copy of File 1 to File 3, and now we'll be going to learn how to use a Loftwing, which is a very important part of the speedrun, is to be introduced to the motion controls for the Loftwing in full.
But also, this also fulfills that second requirement that we need, and we now have the ability to call our bird, at least temporarily on this file.
On File 1, we can now call a bird. Good accomplishment. Good day's work, everyone.
Yes, so important we're going to be doing it multiple times. You might notice that some of these text boxes look familiar. And, yeah, we're going to be seeing the Skyloft tutorial quite a bit.
We only get to see it with names the one time, and we don't have to sit through it the rest of the times.
You get to see it. You get to see the text box twice.
True. Yes.
We do it twice.
I'm surprised that neither of our runners are trying to hit Zelda with a bird for good luck.
Yeah, it takes a certain skill to do that.
Here's our all-important trick. Will both runners get Wing Ceremony cutscene skip?
There's a 2-frame window where you can side hop right after saving.
And
Jasnix gets it.
And wait for Exto. Oh no!
Oh, and Exto misses it. That
Exto's
is unfortunate.
Yep, that is about... Is it 40 seconds with the new backup?
So, it's time for everybody's favorite sub-game in Zelda, Donkey Kong.
Yup!
We're gonna play some Donkey Kong.
So, in order to die optimally, Exto is going to pick up some barrels and throw them at a hill. I don't know what the hill ever did to us, but it's an important part of the speedrun.
Yep, so Link is gonna channel his inner Donkey Kong and throw some barrels and try to get hit with it. I will say this is probably very unfortunate timing for Exto, because he was a couple seconds behind already. This is gonna give Jasnix a little bit more of a lead. And right now what we're seeing Jasnix do is we're going to see Exto do now. He is attempting a reverse bit warp to get into the sky. And notice that he elected to do sort of a more riskier play, but it paid off, looks like.
Yep, we are in the sky, and we're going to see how kind our bird is. And the bird does not have a silver rupee. For a second, I thought that it did.
Me too. Me too.
Just the lighting there. If it has a silver rupee, it'll despawn during this cutscene. That gives you the ability to jump off of your loft wing. And it's on file 2 right now because of that fun back in time trick. So file 2 now has the ability to jump off the loft wing. But in order to actually call the loft wing, it's gonna need to die. The bird does not seem to be super friendly, but still a nice recovery there.
Shout out to my last run where I was like gold pace for getting to the surface, but then I got a silver rupee going.
No! It's always at the worst times.
Yeah, so now we have the ability to dive off our bird. We have the ability to have the Farron pillar. Now we just need the ability to call our bird, and then we have everything we need to go to Farron.
Also, both runners are using the newer method of crashing into the Gwei there, which is nice to see that at least the beginning be partially consistent to get that first hit before the cutscene triggers.
Alrighty, so now we're just gonna see Jasnix fly very high up in the air. For a very specific reason, in that which case we need to take fall damage here. Well, we don't need to, but again, it's good to have low health at all times.
Saves quite a bit of time to be able to take this damage before.
Yes, this is the fastest way to take damage, as we will instantly knock ourselves to 1 hit away from death.
Yup. Also, have to dive over to that rock. Can't just fly over it because, unfortunately, the loft wing is locked inside an invisible box. However, if Link is not on the loft wing, he is not. So, as long as you're skydiving, you can go get over there and take damage.
I'll be honest, I did not know until just recently that the music for entering Farron for the first time can play here. Because I never advanced the text.
Really?
If you don't advance the text, the music doesn't play.
I think I've always advanced the text. I didn't know you could not do that.
Yeah, so now we're gonna save, and so we just entered a new area. Usually whenever we enter a new area, the first thing we do is die.
Well, first thing you do is save, then we die.
True, yes.
Don't forget to save for safety.
Yeah. Yeah, the way I love to explain this run to someone that doesn't know Skyward Sword, we are either doing things while dead, referring to back in time, or we die, or we're going to our next place to die.
Because really the only goal in this run is to get to Lanayru and then die.
Yeah, that is true. Like, everything that we're doing now is all a big setup to get to Lanayru as fast as we can. If we had a fast way to get to Lanayru, we would not even be in Farron right now.
But we have Jasnix starting out on the most involved bit section in the run.
Yes, this is gonna be what we call a reverse bit warp. So he's gonna be teleporting from where he just saved in Skyloft into Skyview Temple, the first temple of the game, and we're gonna be using all these random things that we done, like talking to Fledge, rescuing the Remlet, and entering Rena's house. All of those are going to be useful to us now, and we are going to use them to remove obstacles from our path to get to the Skyview Temple.
Yes. First thing is to get into Farron in back in time,
which is honestly a miracle. I've heard people describe that as a miracle because the file setup is so restrictive. There's only so many things that you have to in order to get the Farron out of and back in time.
Yeah, only certain maps can load in back in time, and it's lucky that enough maps can load that can get us there, and that we can set up our files in such a way that it will only try to load those maps and not the numerous maps that make it crash.
Yes. Farron is actually the only surface area that does not crash in Back in Time.
Oh, a very nice log jump. That jump skips a single congratulatory fanfare cutscene of a log rolling into place.
I will say Exto seems to be playing pretty well. It seems like he's kind of starting to catch up a little bit. To me, it just doesn't feel like he's as far behind as he was.
Yeah, his movement's been very, very clean. Again, both of these runners are very good at what they do. So, I'm sorry, I put very high expectations on both of them.
Cub. Alright, so, you notice that Jasnix selected his blue file, his file 2 there. And that's because of a very specific reason. When we load up file 1, there's a dangerous flag there that we don't want. That is the flag for the Lake Floria cutscene to be available. So if we had turned our camera the wrong direction while that file was selected, we'd be subjected to a long cutscene.
We have a cutscene of a door opening, and if you happen to face that direction with that file open, again, it will just soft lock you because it shows you a door that's open and waits for it to complete the action of opening.
Yes, that is true, Yelp. It once was very useful for the run. It was actually part of the last RBM done in the entire game. To open the door to Hylia's realm. Now we just warp to Hylia's realm. Now it's just another thing that runners want to avoid.
One of the many bit traps.
But I would probably say it's probably the easiest one to fall for. And Jasnix performing the reverse bit warp. So,
he has successfully warped to like 2/3 to 3/4 of the way through the first dungeon. Very nice.
You may notice that there's it's pretty devoid of life. We're gonna enter and leave a room to reload everything.
Oh, well, Exto seemed to have a friendship with a pole for a second. That's okay.
I mean...
Ooh,
spending so much time with killing posts really makes you have an appreciation for poles.
Yeah. Staldra was not kind there. It's not common that it's that rude, at least for me.
Yeah, the right head I find is pretty rare. Usually the left head's still there for me.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming Jasnix,
nice.
Yep, Jasnix's very clean spider jump.
That jump is not difficult, but very scary. I'm an easily frightened individual.
It is harder than it looks, and it's actually a roadblock for a lot of beginner runners, other than the whole back in time thing.
Oh, we have an early safety save from Jasnix that you can either save there or after getting the key, or both.
It's actually faster to save here because you're passing by a statue anyway. Plus, it's also a good stamina refill.
It's gonna be slower if you need it though, because you have to go back and get the key, won't you?
No, because if you die, the key door's still open.
You're smart. I clearly have never done it that way.
Yeah, if you open up the boss door, it'll stay open if you die.
Ah, I'm learning. Another very nice spider jump. I'd like to point out that Jasnix, I believe, did spider jump from the other direction, which if you slash from different directions, it just changes what direction the spider moves. Which is very funny to me because it just, one of these directions I am used to and the other one scares me immensely. Welcome to H.
H? Everyone in the chat is legally required to post H in the chat.
Right.
Thank you for cooperating. We will now commence the first boss fight of the game. The first of only 4 boss fights in this game. Okay, someone come in and arrest Golden, please. He has violated the law of H. Cub, please.
A very clean phase 1. Also got a little stab in there. Very nice. Ooh, got the very fancy getting hits off in between phases. We have another H for you. So how Girahim moves and when he's available to be hit during the second phase is RNG. So,
I look pretty clean on Jasnix on only 2 sets of darts, I believe.
I was not counting. I'm very bad at counting, it seems.
I only saw 2, I believe.
I'll try to count for Extos.
Yeah, Exto has been playing very clean. Like he's already on Girahim phase 2 before Jasnix even left the room.
He can also get the Girahim was mean and did not let him get in the free hits. Those hits are not free. That's 1 darts.
Ooh, that's 2 actually.
Oh, that's 2? Did I miss?
That's 2. His first was darts, and there's 3 sets of darts.
Girahim, why you gotta be rude? Still a very clean fight.
Yeah. And now, Jasnix, you don't see him get this item, but he does now have the Ruby Tablet, which will allow him entry to the Elden area. Which again, the only reason why we're even going to Elden is because we need to get to Lanayru.
Yep, unfortunately, that is a sequence break that has not been found, is how to skip areas. But we're not going to be putting the tablet away the intended way, where you would like get on your bird and fly through the sky or something, because you know what's faster is dying. And you know where dying puts you? In Skyloft. We need to put...
I mean, if you die, then continue, then reset, it puts you on Skyloft.
Well, yeah, but...
If not, it just puts you where you last saved.
See, I just assume that's the correct way to die.
Alrighty, and Exto now getting his Ruby Tablet. So now we're going to be doing a trick very similar to the tricks we've already done. We're doing another reverse bit warp, and we're going to teleport inside the goddess statue, where we can place the Ruby Tablet we had just gotten.
I have already lost count of bonks. I have failed. I'm very sorry.
I thought that was your job.
I know. We shouldn't have given me this job. I'm a speedrunner. I'm terrible at counting. But yeah, just by starting file 3 right before entering that loading zone, we can now place the Ruby tablet on file 3.
That almost looked a little early to start to me.
It's a little bit nerve-wracking. Obviously, if you start earlier, you can kind of stack a little bit more of it, like you have to wait out the fade out sequence anyway, so you can make those 2 things happen as close to the same time as possible to save a couple of frames. But it's a little bit scary when people are this practiced at it.
So I will say, now not only does this give us access to Eldin, but this also gives us the Tunic, which is useful for exactly one instance of Back in Time that absolutely requires it. And without it, this entire run would not be possible.
Well, I think there is a low percent run that doesn't use the Tunic. It just is slower. I mean, our runners are still pretty close together. They're only apart by like half a bit interaction, which is pretty close.
Yeah. I can definitely see some room where lead can change positions.
Yeah, of course.
Now we have access to the Eldin Pillar. We don't want to go through the whole of Eldin, because Eldin is a very big area, and also can require some items that we do not have currently, and that we don't intend to get. So we're gonna do another little setup to do another reverse bit warp and land out of bounds in Eldin. So effectively skipping the entirety of the area and just going to the dungeon, where we can get the Amber Tablet to go Lanayru.
It's very nice that we can skip all of Eldin, because otherwise it might be a little bit tedious.
Yeah, the old route would use a very precise bit warp to position themselves in the same area as a goddess cube, which would push you underneath the ground and into a loading zone for the magma turf, which is about halfway through Eldin.
Yes, now we can skip essentially all of it by just getting pretty far out of bounds.
The only thing is that this is also kind of risky if you don't know how to do the movement through out of bounds Eldin. Because this is a fairly long bit sequence, not as long as the first one, but easily the second longest.
Yeah, ideally nobody will have to
Third
redo
longest.
it. There also is a bit of a backup if you happen to take some damage during Eldin Out of Bounds. Just, you can't lose all your health, that would be bad.
On the bright side, though, if one of our runners did screw up, right now what Jasnix did, you may have noticed that he saved during Back in Time on his file 3 behind the temple. That's important. That has our coordinates that we're gonna be at in Eldin. And we're gonna, now that we have those coordinates saved, if we die, we do not have to save those coordinates again. Which is a good thing here. Now we're gonna see Jasnix just fall right into Eldin. And the developers were very generous with their collision out of bounds. Until they're not. But that comes later on in the run. But
we don't need to talk about Jank Jump, it's okay.
Jank Jump doesn't exist, it can't hurt you.
Okay.
But yeah, so we were able to run along the side of this active volcano. Yeah, just take advantage of some of the weird collision. The only problem is that this weird collision can be your downfall. We're gonna see Jasnix run up an invisible scene here. And do it very cleanly, I must say.
Yeah, that is the scariest part of Eldin Out of Bounds right there. If Link decides not to do that little step up over the seam, he will instead just slide down into the lava on his butt.
And ooh, take some damage. Jasnix definitely was not. Jasnix was not anticipating that.
Took it super careful getting down there. That you can also slide down that and jump down. But that you can't quite see where you're sliding, so running down is probably the safest option. But still very nice recovery.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone take fall damage on that jump.
Oh, I have. It was me. It only happened once, though, so I can't say it's super common.
Alright, can Exto get the step up here?
Oh no.
Okay,
Good recovery.
Yep, he can recover that.
Good recovery.
Very clean recovery, yep.
Just trying to give me heart palpitations. That's what you're doing here, right?
Yeah. We will say that movement is harder than it looks. And very clean jump, so he's just gonna be able just to jump all the way down.
It gave me a little bit of anxiety there hitting the wall to take damage, but if you hit the wall there too high, you'll take damage, and then you'll take damage again when you hit the ground.
And that will kill you.
Yes, he took damage, but was already low enough on the slope to
and
bottom.
Jasnix now doing a trick to skip obtaining not only the dingamits, but also 5 shards of keys to be able to enter the temple.
Yeah, because collecting that much is slow. And now we can see Jasnix is going to go do key seat. Assumedly.
Yes,
I don't know where you branch off if you're not doing key seat.
But
very nice keeping the keys in camera too. So we want this keys to follow right over to here, so you can line up the keys between Link and the rope.
Yeah, if you're wanting to.
That's not good. I think the keys was a little bit too high there.
It lagged for me, so I missed it.
Don't trust me on anything. But that's gonna cost a good little bit of time that Exto can make up.
There's a trick to skip key seat, but it's about like 3 minutes slower, in which case you would just die immediately upon entering Earth Temple after saving. And RBM and then a bit warp.
So this is gonna cost time to set up key seat once again. But it's actually gonna cost more time because Jasnix has too much health now. And Exto getting kissed by a Keese. A little bit rude of that Keese. But it's fine because Keese only do 1 damage.
This may be Exto's chance to catch up.
Yeah, because I do believe that was a second failed Keese. Let's see. Exto, please have some better luck. I think the Keese might be cursed. Exto getting it first try. This has been a dramatic shift. Not patched, it's true. They didn't issue a patch. For how old is this game?
I believe this game released in 2011. So yeah, 12 years.
Exto also sneaking by the Lizalfos, who is the bane of my existence. So congrats on that. Alright. 3rd time's the charm. Jasnix, you've got this. The Keese's movement can be,
Oh, no!
The Keese's movement is both RNG and very erratic. You can kind of set it up to hope that it picks an angle that works, but at that point you gotta either really commit to the angle and hope for the best, or judge that angle and go, no, I'm not doing that one, and try again. And you do have to leave and re-enter the room in some respect to retry, because the Keese needs to respawn.
Alrighty. And cast can notice, but Exto now doing a trick to skip the longest. For this, we need a file that doesn't have any data, but all of our files have data. So he needs to enter it on a tile screen, which he did. So now we can get this little piece of information.
Yes, Pippet's a real good lad. There we go. Perfect.
Oh. Good job, Jasnix.
But Pippet's a real good lad who's going to tell us how to raise that bridge. A very clean, also backup to take damage during the bridge lowering cutscene. I never considered that. That's a cute interaction.
That bridge raised and dying.
Yes, and Exto's just moving through the rest of Earth Temple now, going up some slopes, doing, about to do a fun little stutter sprint where Link screams a bunch. Hooray.
And more importantly, skips the need for bombs.
Yes, which is very good considering since we did not pick up the slingshot, we do not have any items during this route. So if it weren't for the fact that you can get up that slope without bombs, you would not be able to.
But Pippi, wait, doesn't the boss fight need bombs?
It does. Huh. I'm sure they'll figure out a way around it, right?
Yeah. They'll find a way.
It only mandatorily removes the boss's armor, right?
Yeah.
Jasnix is also scaring me by mousing over the yes button on the Wii Motion Plus tutorial prompt.
Oh, I do that all the time too.
Y'all are brave. Nope. We are very strictly, if you hit the yes button, it's gonna take you out back in time and try to teach you how to use your Wii Motion Plus. And importantly, you can't use the home menu from the Wii Motion Plus menu. It's so much time to have to remember which button closes the Wii Motion Plus tutorial when all the buttons are in Japanese.
I hover over it while holding the A button.
Still, I'm too much, I'm a coward. Also, by the way, here's the D key.
Yep, D. This is the last boss key that we have in the entire run.
Last for Exto, at least. We'll still have another one.
Well, I mean, it's the last variety of boss keys.
Yes. We will not be seeing 3.
Which is why this is the dev-intended speedrun route. So we only get H and D. It's a hint from the developers that we were going to get Skyward Sword HD.
Love to see the little visual glitch of getting a first frame roll on Jasnix's screen. That it makes the background of the stamina wheel stay that red color.
Oh, is that how that's caused?
Yeah, it means you rolled on the first frame it was available, or so I'm told.
I've only gotten that like once in my life.
I can get it on some loading screens, I can't get it on others. Oh, and got it again! Claps for frame saving.
And now, Hiram's gonna be doing his best impression of like Syndrome from The Incredibles. You sly dog, you got me monologuing.
Yes, it gives you plenty of time to stress out over Scaldera.
And stress out even more, knowing that if you fail, you have to listen to his monologue again.
Yup. And Exto got everybody's getting watermelons. But as we said, we don't have bombs, so we'll be using the bombs at the top of the stage to break Scaldera's armor. However, that does mean it's important that Scaldera stay at the top of the stage until he has no armor left to break, which means some very careful damage management. And if you miss your damage management enough, Scaldera will actually soft block. So we're hoping not to see any Scaldera soft blocks, because as we've just said,
enough damage in enough time.
Yes.
Okay, Exo's going for the 3 cycle.
Oh,
and
good.
looks like he's...
Oh, we got an extra cycle, but
That
it should be fine. Sometimes Scaldera can be a bit sassy. There we go.
And there it is.
I don't believe it until I see the meatball scream.
A very nice 4 cycle. And down goes the spicy Mike Wazowski, as I call him.
I just call him an angry meatball. We really don't want the meatball to hop into the sauce. That's the worst.
Alrighty, now Jasnix is going through Giram's monologue.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of dialoguing happening.
Yes, the dialogue with the mute child.
Our silent protagonist.
I will say, though, I believe Skyward Sword is the most dialogue that Link actually has, with many multiple choice options for talking with various characters.
Interesting. So, Exto is obtaining our final piece of the tablet, which will open the Lanayru pillar. And once again, it is slow to get there by bird, much faster to get there by dying and going back to Skyloft back in time, so why not do it that way?
Now, an important note here. For the majority of this file, we've been on file 3. We want to finish off on file 1. Oh, Jasnix, I think, screwed up.
It should be fine on...
soft block.
No, that should be fine on the hit. He just, didn't get by Scaldera in time, so Scaldera crawled back up.
Okay, we're good.
So, there we go.
So, a very nice tricycle.
Yep. You can try to sort of damage boost through Scaldera and get below him, so he sees that you're below him and he goes, oh, I should be rolling down, instead of sprouting his gangly legs and climbing up the top of the stage. And we do want to be at within 1 hit of death, so that's 2 hearts at the end of the fight, so taking the damage is good. However, while Jasnix did do that, he didn't quite get to the other side fast enough, and Scaldera decided to climb to the top of the stage instead. But no matter how you take damage, that still works.
Yeah, as I was mentioning, we are now going to be getting this Lanayru pillar on file 1. And that's going to be it for the rest of the run.
Yes, much like our first RBM, instead of RBWing into the goddess room, we're just going to place the fact that the pillar exists onto file 1. And it's been a while since we opened file 1, so... I'm
not entirely sure why we do this, or if it's just an aesthetic choice, but... we will be finishing the run on file 1 now.
I feel like it's tradition, right?
And that means we're also going to be now... We do not have the tunic on file 1, so we are going to be defeating Demise in our PJs.
That's exactly how I would want it to happen. Now, file 1 was left here way back during that first long bit sequence, I believe. So,
yep.
Nice and convenient to be in front of this save statue that we can fly away with and have Fi recite some text that we've already seen. It's fine.
Well, we didn't see it on file 1. We saw it on file 2.
But
so now we actually have the ability to dive off our Loftwing, finally, on file
cool.
1.
It always feels nice when the bird is carrying the silver rupee on the second time, so you know you just dodged the bullet.
That was a red rupee, though.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was not a silver rupee, but
yeah.
I always look just in case.
Yeah, so now we're in Lanayru, which is where the real meat of the run takes place.
By meat of the run, you mean 3 RB or 3-bit interactions. Well, 3 RBMs and 2 bit warps. That's how it works. Good job, Brain.
Yeah.
And not the meatball, right? The
Yeah.
meatball's not here.
No, meatballs not. I mean, technically yes, but at the same time, no. The meatball is available through early boss rush, but we decided to ignore him.
A very nice, quick explosion. Because we just landed in Lanayru, we will be warping to very far out of bounds in Lanayru. Once again, very kind to the devs to leave all this random collision lying around for us to walk on. Using not a reverse bit warp, but a bit warp. Which notably takes far less time and back in time. But using that to, now that we're on the Lanayru map, warp to a different part of Lanayru where we can, do some fun shenanigans and play mini games. Right?
Yep, we're going to be going on a long hike to Lanayru Caves, which usually to get there we would need to get the harp and do the Lanayru trial to get the claw shots, and that just takes way too long. Ain't nobody got time for that. We're on a limited time frame here. So we're just gonna manually walk all the way there.
Yep. Shout out to the fact that the floor collision is real, but the wall collision is not, so you can just kind of walk right through. Also, Jasnix also successfully making it to Lanayru. We've had a change in positions, but still not all too far separated. You never know what G3 Escape wants to look like today.
Yes, very nice.
I'm learning that there is a faster way to explode yourself on those bombs. As always, the most fun part of watching top runners to me is just casually stealing their movement, right?
Almost every time I see a Skyward Sword race, whether that be any percent or randomizer, I always learn something new.
Yeah, everybody does things a little bit differently. And some things are actually faster, and some things are just kind of personal preference. And it is fun to see everybody's little quirks.
Like, for instance, I did not know you could walk between the wall and that rock that Exto just did.
I also learned that from Exto, but that I learned that another time. It is a nice little movement trick there. But Exto has successfully reached his location, saved, and then died to my best friend, the cactus. And now we need to summon the Thunder Dragon so we can play a minigame. In order to summon the Thunder Dragon, you need to activate a Time Shift Stone. In order to activate a Time Shift Stone, you need a minecart to be there. So we have to escort the minecart there, and there's a rock in the way of the minecart escort mission. And also we have to spawn the minecart. Not necessarily in that order, almost entirely in the opposite. We're blowing up a rock. It's fine. Don't worry about the rest of it. We're blowing up a rock. We have a vendetta against the rock. Ah, yes, I assume that just everything that these runners do is faster. I can't wait to find out I'm wrong. So Exto is once again going to go to Farron and back in time, which we'll be seeing 3 times at the end of this run. And this time we're just hitting start at any point during a specific cutscene, and also skillfully avoiding some Deku Babas. And that will blow up the rock that is in the way of the minecart that does not exist yet, but will exist soon. I swear.
Alrighty, so now our runners are doing. I believe Exto is going to be doing now Machi RBM. But pretty much what our runners are doing is it's all part of a big setup to get access to the boss rush minigame early. It allows us to essentially skip all the rest of the game. Yeah. So now what we're doing is we're doing a little trick to skip the minecart escort.
Sorry, my mic decided that I didn't want to talk anymore. I'm back.
Oh wait, did Jasnix start the wrong file? I just literally looked at Discord for 2 seconds and I missed something.
I was fixing a microphone.
He RBM'd on file 3. No.
Oh no!
Oh. This is probably one of the worst. Actually, no, it's not one of the worst. It's probably one of the
He's
better
still
ones.
on Rock RBM, yeah?
Yeah, I believe he's still on Rock RBM.
Okay, that's at least the shortest of the 3 ending RBMs. That the other 2 require going to a bunch of different screens and doing a bunch of different stuff, but Rock RBM is at least the shortest one if you're gonna fail one. Very nice double kill on the Bokoblins by Exto. We are talking to Machi because Machi is a good little friend who knows how to spawn that minecart that we're gonna need. And in between each of these RBMs, the runners are just going to go commit their files.
Something that we kind of glossed over. But
I mean, in this route, it's not super relevant until now. But in order to make a change to your file, you have to make another change within the file, sort of an intended change in normal gameplay, for it to save both changes to memory. So in between these RBMs, they just blow up a rock, which obviously alters the landscape, thus saving the rock RBM, and then bonk that pillar, spawning a rupee, which also makes a permanent change, which is enough. All right. Now I think Jasnix put it on the correct file, right?
I believe so.
We're good? We're all set up?
Right now we're out of bounds again. Once again, the devs are very generous with their out of bounds collision.
Until right now.
Yes, you will see that very soon that their generosity does show some bounds.
Or lack thereof.
But yeah, their generosity does come to an end somewhere along this path. So we're required to make a very weird setup here to get an angle to jump off of.
Yeah, there's no floor there.
You go from floor to no floor in less than a second.
Angle's a little bit off. Jank jump can be a little bit mean, and can be a little annoying to fix your angle on. There we go. Okay. All right.
Not
Only
bad.
a little mean. But yeah, if your angle is a little bit off in one direction, you just jump into the void and the other direction, and Link just uselessly runs up a wall a couple times and does not do anything. It's a very precise angle for some reason. I wish I understood jank jump.
And now we're going to be doing a little bit of a break slide here.
Yeah, our only break slide in the run, hopefully.
Yep, that should be good. So now we should see a minecart right next to Exto. We do.
Thank you, Machi. And now, the fun part about escorting a minecart.
The waiting.
Yeah, doing nothing and killing the time.
So this honestly gives us a really good look at our runner psychology to find out what they do in their idle time. It tells you a lot about the runner.
Oh, I just stare at the minecart. Oh, we just have an intense staring match.
That says you're impatient.
I really don't know that I am. I just like to know that it's still there. It's comforting, you know?
Okay, so less impatient, more insecure. Got it.
Yeah, there you go. Now you're getting it.
Yeah, we might see our runners like cut grass. We might see our runners do skyward strikes, do some fancy break slides into rolls. Like, there's a bunch of things that people do. Now that the minecart's in its final resting place, we're now doing the final RBM of the entire run.
Yes.
Which plays out nearly identical to our first RBW of the run, where we went to
technically our
the
second.
Varen.
First we had Sky RBW, right?
True, yes, that is correct.
Technically an RBW, but it looks a little bit different.
Yes, specifics are very different. We take a slightly alternate route. We take a different log up.
Yeah, there are a lot of RBWs in this route now. The fact that we do a million reverse bit warps and then don't do an actual bit warp until the very end of the run is a little amusing. At least if you're easily amused.
Yeah, bit warps were definitely like more prevalent in earlier runs, and reverse bit warps were a little bit more special, but now the roles have reversed.
They reversed bit warp.
It's funny how like as Back in Time like developed, the reverse of all these tricks became more prevalent.
Did
we
Jasnix
use reverse
just start his file too early? I think Jasnix just started his file. I'm not quite sure what happened there.
I did not see what happened there.
Something happened there, and Jasnix started his file instead of...
He probably started it too early.
Continuing. Oh.
I saved that warp, it was too late. Ooh.
Yeah, unfortunate. But...
Fortunately, this is one of the back in time tricks that's like easy to redo.
Which RBM is he on? I'm trying to keep track.
He's doing Gorge RBW.
Okay.
Not RBW, Bit Warp.
Yeah. We just established it's Bit Warp. Okay. And Exto has successfully done our second death on the title screen of the run. Along with the free frame perfect copy. Which is like, it's a thing it saves negligible time pretty much, but also it provides a little bit of safety in order to make it so you cannot accidentally start your file while you are hitting continue. Oh, a nice jank jump. There we go. However, it provides safety after you do what is technically a frame perfect input. A very easy frame perfect input, but technically. Doesn't have to be a specific frame, it just has to be one of them. Pick your favorite.
I mean, isn't it not frame perfect at that point because you don't have the ability to open up the map?
I don't know. Oh, Jasnix landed on the top.
I mean, hey, that conserves some stamina.
Love it when that happens, though.
Landing on top does conserve some stamina, which is good if you're bad at brake sliding.
Incredible recovery from that. I am terrible at that. Oh, we've got a very different approach, which is just jumps. Just jumping everywhere.
Don't do that again.
Scaring everyone. But Exto is now moving into Girahim 3 Escape, which is going to be, we're entering into the boss rush minigame. Jasnix, you're continually giving me heart palpitations over here.
Voiding out here is probably the most avoidable time loss.
But we will be entering into the boss rush minigame to fight Girahim 3, and then instead of actually defeating him, trying to force him very low in the stage through platform manipulation, so that our runners can just hop down to a safe statue and
we're going to escape the simulation. Right now, we're in a simulation of the Girahim boss fight.
We're stuck in the Matrix.
We want the real thing. We want to escape the simulation. So we're gonna have to save, and that will get rid of the minigame flags and put us in the real fight.
I'm looking forward to seeing what variant of G3 Escape both of our runners do. I want to see some fun backflips. I can hope, right?
I'm pretty sure backflips have become standard at this point. Because
they're so fun to watch. Fun to do as well. Hot take, I think Girahim 3 Escape is very fun.
I think it's fun now that I can actually get it consistently. With the old method of doing it, it was not fun. It was very frustrating.
Exto is scaring me by playing with the camera.
And we got a very nice backflip. Taking some damage. Getting attacked by Girahim, but we're invulnerable at that point. Very clean. Very good G3 escape.
Very nice.
So now we're gonna see just some janky things. I think the devs kind of gave up with collision at the end of the game, because there are some very jank collision rules in this next section here.
Yeah, we're out of bounds right now, but that's easy enough. You can slide back into bounds on your butt.
Yep, we're just getting pinched between two walls and sliding up for whatever reason. And now we're escaping the invisible box by going back out of bounds.
The setup for this can be, it is consistent. It just, is funny and annoying. There we go. Hole giving Exto a little bit of trouble.
That's fine. At this point, Exto does have time to spare.
I mean, it's always an option to die to Girahim 3.
Jasnix is on our last RBM of the run.
Indeed. Soon we'll have another opportunity to watch fun backflips, maybe.
And speaking of collision glitches, that happens right there.
Yeah, there's a hole in the floor, and there was a Girahim in the hole.
Yeah, the game is very mad at us for doing such large of a sequence break. So they sent Girahim to be the security officer.
Importantly, Exto has to knock Girahim back in bounds and then fling himself back in bounds.
Which he does beautifully.
Perfect. If you deal Girahim damage out of bounds, it will just crash the console. And that crash is consistent between HD and SD. I love knowing this.
At least in HD, it will close the program for you. SD, it just like it makes a very nice sound, and you have to like physically unplug your console.
Oh, mine's never screamed. Mine just dies silently. It just.
Actually, yeah, I think mine does too. I think I'm having a false memory of that.
Of all of the 3D Zelda games, I think Skyward Sword has screamed the least in my experience. But we now have Exto is home buffering the Girahim stun lock, which
it also does not look like he's playing in 3x4, is he? That looked a little laggy to me.
I don't know. I only know lag.
Yeah, he's definitely playing a 16x9.
Yeah, if you put the game in 4x3, it will get rid of the lag from having that black mist visible in the middle of your screen. Very clean phase, though. Also, Jasnix is now entering Girahim 3 escape, so let's see how he fares.
Exto has having a decent amount of health for safety here.
Imagine having health here.
I mean, I'd say it's a very, very respectable play at this point. He has one hit of health to spare, which you can either use or not use, depending on how things work out.
Nobody ever accused me of being smart.
Exto kind of confused as to why he wasn't able to gear him.
Directions are difficult and scary, but a very clean fight.
Yep, very clean, no damage.
Now entering Demise, well, Jasnix gets the last bit of G3 escape. Very nice backflip.
And very nice attacks. Ooh, it looks like, ooh, come on.
Ooh, that's probably too high.
That might be too high. That is too high.
Something happened there.
Definitely too high.
Yep.
Yeah, and Jasnix knows it, so he's gonna have to retry G3 escape.
Yeah, if you have extra health, you can.
Wait, what, Jasnix? What are you doing?
What are we doing?
What are you doing? It's too late.
If you have extra health, you can void out and retry the trick, but without extra health to take the final fall damage, unfortunately,
Yeah.
you gotta exit the fight and re-enter. Or you can just have fun, which speedruns are for fun, right? Also, Exto is very close to the end of the run.
Yep.
And that is time for Exto.
GG.
Very nice.
Except finishing with a time of 1:13:25. And Jasnix looks like he has forfeit.
Very unfortunate. I have not seen.
I mean, it's understandable if he's going through the actual mini game. He's not too worried about finishing.
Yeah, I've not seen the phase 2 of the mini game in a while.
I'm not sure if we're gonna be getting them in here for an interview.
We'll find out. I'm sure somebody knows.
All right, so not gonna have an interview just yet because we do have a game 2 coming up.
Oh yeah, that is correct. I forgot about that.
The fight's not over.
Yeah, it's not over yet.
So getting that set up now. Gonna swap off to some ads to knock off some pre-roll time for anybody just hopping in. So it's gonna be about 5 minutes or so. Take a break, get up, stretch, get something to drink. And then, again, about 5 minutes, meet us back here for game 2, and we will get this one going.
It's the best of 3 series that will conclude today. So either Jasnix or Exto will win.
Well, we're only doing 2 games. We are not doing game 3 today.
Okay. Noted.
It might end today. Or Jasnix can bring it back.
Alright, so we will see you back here in a few minutes, all.
Skyward.